Kalka here, and we have been playing the Blizzard Meteor build, and I got a lot of comments around fighting bosses. So people want to know if this build is as good as Blizzard at fighting bosses. So we're going to do a little test here. We're going to run this dungeon, this level 100, Arcane's Grasp. This actually has a boss. We're going to talk about some gameplay while we're doing it. So we're live, right? Nothing's going to be absolutely perfect here. But we're using Blizzard Meteor with Raiment of the Infinite. So this build I found to be very good for moving people out of the way of your meteors. Now, also we're using the Oculus with this build. And we want to see if we could switch something up for bosses to make them go down faster. And I think it's best test on a boss, right? So I'm going to try to play pretty cautious. I would. The reason why I really wanted to focus on this build is because I think this could be something that is very, very good in the Gauntlet. Not to say I'm not going to test other builds. So you're going to see me pumping out some build videos soon of different options, just so I could maybe like the test. And you might not be able to play as much, but you want to get a good build for when the Gauntlet comes out, so you could be competitive, because anyone's going to be able to be competitive as long as you could get to 100, get a decent build. Let's try to find that right build that makes us all competitive, because the great thing about the Gauntlet is we're not playing against barbarians or necros or rogues. We're playing against other sorks, so we're playing against each other. This is us versus us, man. I want to see those comments when the Gauntlet comes out. I'll be like, man, I used one of your builds and we're at the leader, we hit the leaderboard. That would be so sweet. That would be amazing. And maybe it's just like, hey, and I used your build and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I've already seen that, so I appreciate those comments, because those comments obviously make me want to continue to. So right now we're using raiments. There is some upgrades to the build that we still need to do. So at the end, I'll talk about the percentages of damage that is yet to be had, which is enormous for this build. There is still so much more damage this build could do. Oh man, the Oculus just puts me in the right place more often than none, man. I'm seriously getting put where I want to be so often using the Oculus, and it feels freaking good. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but it does feel good. And then when you could stand still after everything's stunned, you see what happens. You just drop those meteors down and it comes down like bombs, just bombing away at these mobs, just saying, no, what are you doing to me, Kalka? And I'm like, you know what? I gotta take you out, man. I'm here to clear this dungeon, and I will do whatever it takes. This is another thing beautifully about Blizzard. So I like to save my meteor for when the elites pop up. Oh, we already did it. I felt like we were in a vault for a second. When the vault pops off, you save the meteor for when the elites come up and they just instantly fall over. So you freeze them with the Blizzard, and then when you gotta bomb them all down, and you gotta slay the vampire lords. Look at that. We're carrying mobs all over there, just doing millions and millions of damage, dancing. I feel like I'm a freaking DJ dancer, dancing around the map sometimes, and it just feels good, man. Then I can throw a bomb, and the bomb goes down, my dude's dead, and just looks pretty, feels pretty. It's a good time. Bomb. You get bombed. Stunned, and he didn't even have time to get bombed there. Oh. See that? They try to kill me. Sometimes you can't die, but you're not even... I have no glyphs that are defensive. That's the crazy thing. So when I get the right gear, and I tell you what, we are going to be popping off, because there is a Genesis Tuning Stone. That Genesis Tuning Stone will give me automatically 30% damage increase. 30%. That's crazy. Evernight. That's another 20% damage. These items are going to make this build even stronger, and once I get them, it's going to be scary, man. It's going to be scary. And then what I'm saying is, when you're in the gauntlet, you're gonna get multiple attempts at it. So you're gonna just do it once and be like, oh, that's my weekly score. You're gonna get multiple attempts at it. And if the Oculus pops off and gets you in the right direction, I think it could be magical. I remember playing Diablo 2. You guys probably remember if you played Diablo 2. Use the Oculus, and if you get into the right spot, you're just teleporting to the right location, pressing teleport. Look at this guy. Look at what you can do. You can get bombed? Got bombed. And he got bombed. Alright, so we are traveling to the boss now. Look at that. Man, it is so pretty. Isn't that the prettiest thing you've ever seen? Oh man, look at that. Bomb. 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 See ya. Bomb. Alright, so let me talk about this now. So we know in the gauntlet there is going to be bosses, and from what we know, there could be bosses that just spawn, and then you might carry that boss to another boss, and you're fighting in a pack of mobs, 2 bosses, and you need to get them down quick. So this change right here, see how quick that was? Boom. It doesn't mess with rings, which is great because rings get confused, where I could literally go boom. So I think that this change is going to be really good. So what I did is I put Juggernaut on my chest. I put Tabolts on my pants. And look at, that's another 14%. So we talked about 50. Now we have 64% damage that we haven't even increased yet. Plus, there's other components of the build that need to be a little bit better. So we'll talk about that too. So I took off Raymond's. I put on Juggernaut there with all the damage reduction, and then I took off Juggernaut on the pants, and I put on Tabolts, and then I put Esu's Ferocity on the weapon. So we're gonna see what this does. I think this is gonna be something good. It's the Blood Bishop. We don't even like the Blood Bishop. We think the Blood Bishop's an idiot. So let's see what it does. So we're now with the damage is coming in. So it's pretty good. Now we stagger them. That's quick. That is quicker. That is so quick compared to just using that. So we can do a quick swap and do more damage. You don't have to do the swap if you don't like doing the swaps. But we're talking about speed run and this isn't even maxed yet either. So we don't even have the glyphs completely maxed. When the glyphs get maxed, then you're doing even more damage. But we're talking for bosses, when you swap these 3 items and then you get the epic tuning stones or like unique tuning stones, Genesis, Evernight, this is about 20% damage increase. This is about 30% damage increase. And then you max out the Tabolts, you're getting an extra 64x damage. That is more than half the damage I'm doing. I seen some crits for like 1.5 mil. So that's like 2.2 mil crits we will get. And then we'll tidy up some things. We don't need damage to stunned on here. We want something like crit damage on here, vulnerable damage on here. So there's some improvements that could be made. I didn't even fight that boss that well. So right here too, we'll probably end up getting like speed on here. So we don't need 17k armor. So you'll notice with Juggernaut, you don't get the armor in the town. You actually get the armor when you're outside of the town. So right here, I'm way too high in the armor. So that's 17k, man. That's way too high. So I'd put probably speed for the gauntlet on here. But man, I think that this build is going to be something special. So that's kind of what I wanted to show for this video. I think that those changes on bosses are awesome. You could kill Duriel probably on the first phase if you really wanted to. Continue to make more builds. The next build is probably going to just be all Blizzard, so I could compare, because I've seen some comments saying all Blizzard might be better, but I'm not sure yet because I haven't tried that out yet. I want to test it on every phase of, the end game. But leave me some comments down below, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching the video. All right, we out.